Your scouting unit relies on a chartered organization. It's critical to keep that relationship healthy. It's very important, and most units that are successful are stable and thriving. Let's talk about it. Hey, ScouterStan. Let's talk a little bit about this chartered organization issue. It is absolutely incredibly important that you understand that scout units, packs, troops, crews, even sea ship, that's Sea Scouts, the ship needs that chartered organization, and keeping that relationship is very important. For a lot of scouters, they don't understand the actual process of charter, and charter is it goes way back. In fact, I did a video a while back. There it is. So check that out. It talks about the chartered system and how that works. Now, there are units out there that don't even have a relationship with the chartered organization. And that's sad, because I know of units that have operated for years, and all of a sudden the charter didn't want to recharter. The chartered organization was like, who are these people? Why are they taking up our space? That's one of those things. You have to have that relationship there so that that charter will be there so that it will help your unit thrive. Clear communications is the key throughout scouting. Communications is so important. We started this season with an episode or two about communication. And it is absolutely critical that the chartered organization rep is there at the scout meetings and at the committee meetings. It's really critical. They are part of the key three. So it's very important that the chartered organization representative is there. And if they're not, there should be communications, whether it be texting, phone calls, emails, you name it. There's all kinds of ways to communicate to this critical component of the unit. Making sure that the chartered organization is aware of what's going on. What kind of recruitment are you doing? What kind of fundraising are you doing? What kind of things can they do for the chartered organization? There's always Life Scouts looking for Eagle projects. The perfect place to start on that, of course, is your own chartered organization. This communication is absolutely critical to maintain that relationship so that they're involved, that they know what's going on. Building your relationship with your chartered organization representative is absolutely critical. Make sure that they're invited to everything that the unit does. That would include PLCs. If you have a troop, PLCs is the Patrol Leaders Council. That they should be there for. They need to be involved in a lot of different things. If they're with a pack, they need to be at the committee meeting with everybody that's involved, with all the den leaders and everything. So it's really important that the chartered organization representative is at these events. Now, if you're having a fun night for all the den leaders or all the in the pack, or if you're having a get together, a spaghetti dinner or something, a picnic, whatever, as a leadership thing, that's fine. But make sure that you get the chartered organization representative at that event. We want that relationship. We want that individual to really know about scouting, know what's going on, and if they might even have a youth that's in the unit. So this is very important that they are made comfortable. And it should be at every single event. Everything that goes on in your unit should have the chartered organization rep involved. Now, aligning with the chartered organization's methods or process that they're doing, their mission, as it was with scouting, it is very important for the unit to kind of work with them and make sure that they're not leaving the place a mess. Okay, that is a cost, and chartered organizations don't like that. What they do like are service projects and things that really help the mission of that chartered organization. Now, a lot of chartered units are with churches, are with synagogues, are with mosques, and it is absolutely important that they are respectful for the places in the facilities that they're not allowed to go to. You just don't want the Cub Scouts to keep running through the administrative offices of that unit, of that church. And it makes it very chaotic. There are places in the building that may be just quarantined off, and the leaders of the unit need to be aware of that. Those areas don't use those rooms. That makes it very easy for the charter to say, okay, we can give you the gymnasium, or we can give you these rooms. It is very important that you stay within the confines of what the charter wants. And when you go outside of that, you have to make sure it's absolutely clear, because it does happen. You have to make it very clear that was not intentional. Everybody should know better. We have taken action to make sure that those scouts don't do that again. It might be as simple as locking up the office. Just that might be the best way to do it. That is something that you have to work with the charter. You have to know what is important. You also have to know their mission. A lot of charters treat scouting as their outreach for all of the community that they serve. So that is very important. There are certain nights where you cannot use the facilities at that charter, so you got to be aware of that. It would be terrible to organize a big event like a blue and gold or a court of honor for a troop, and the facilities are not available. That does happen. Especially with religious organizations. They may have funerals, they may have weddings. Those are big deals, and they may take the space away. So you have to work with your charter. It's important to show gratitude. Believe me, I had a unit that didn't really work with the charter and was trying to help and trying to do stuff, and the charter just was giving them a room and that's it. They weren't participating. The one thing that really turned that unit around was they found out that there was a big Sunday morning event where they had a lot of people at it, and they said the scouts are going to come and do pancakes. Okay, pancakes with butter and the syrup and all the fixings, orange juice and everything. This was fantastic. This really turned it around. A lot of the people that went to that church didn't even know they had a troop, so it became a recruiting event too. This is big. This is really big, and it was free. Okay, the troop basically did the cost, and they put a tip jar out, and that paid for everything. So pancakes are pretty cheap to put together, and you have camp stoves and you have the stuff to do it. So think about doing some kind of event for the chartered organization, not just the management of the chartered organization, but the people who use the facilities on a normal basis. They need to be aware of scouting too, and this is very critical to a successful relationship with your charter. Hey, before we go any further, I want to make sure that you're invited to the Campfire Chat. Now, this is our live meeting we have each month on the first Sunday, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. This is a fantastic way to get involved with live chat, and we have special guests. We have all kinds of neat things that go on. So definitely check that out. I also want to thank all of the Patreon members of this channel. In addition to that, I also want to thank all of the channel members right here on this channel. They have a fantastic group of people on this channel. They get a lot of perks. They get a lot of little icons and all kinds of neat stuff. But definitely check that out. If you're interested in becoming a member, definitely hit the little join button. It'll tell you more information. That's a great way to make this channel even better. Make it a part of what you do. And I'm so proud of you. We're just gonna jump right back in. Being a good representative of scouting so that the chartered organization sees what you do. That is very important in regards to that relationship. They need to know you and be able to come to you and say, hey, we're having a problem with the fence in the back of the facility. And is there anything you can do? Well, that's an opportunity. So it can be a service project for the whole unit. It could be something that you could raise some money and help with that fence. You know, this is something that the chartered organization would greatly appreciate. They may come to you and say, hey, all of your equipment, that's a lot of stuff. Can you do something about it? And you sit with them and you talk with them and you say, well, maybe we could put up some shrubberies or some kind of thing that blocks it so that it's not such an eyesore, some kind of trees or bushes or something. Okay, come up with an idea. Work with your charter. This is a incredibly important relationship. Now, this does go along with facilities and taking care of the place. You do not want, after a canoe trip, to go across the lawn of the church and try to park the canoe trailer or something, or and mess up their lawn, okay, or mess up the sprinkler system. This can be very bad, and it does happen. Okay, so you need to be honest. Okay, a scout is trustworthy, and to get that loyal from the charter, you need to be trustworthy and go to them and say, look, we messed up. We drove over the sprinkler head. We'll do what we can to repair it right now. And do it right then. And make sure that it gets repaired. Make sure that you send a letter to the charter saying, hey, we're really sorry. We messed up that thing. We fixed it. If there's any additional problems, let us know. And this is something that we need to do to make sure that we're responsible with our charter. We don't need them to get upset at the unit because of damages. They do happen. It's just wear and tear a lot of times. But the unit needs to be able to go in there and be honest and say, hey, we messed that up. And likewise, if the charter says something messed up a classroom in the building and you weren't even there that night, you can basically go to them and say, look, I'm not sure, but we weren't even in the building that day. That kind of thing. So communications, that all comes around. All of these are really incredibly important things that a unit can do to keep their charter happy. Now, engaging with people within that particular charter. Say, for instance, they have a janitor, a night janitor. If that janitor has certain things that they need done by certain times, make sure that the unit knows. I know of a unit that has to be out the door by 8 o'clock. So they start at 6:30. They have to be out the door. Scout leaders like to chat, okay, and talk, and that's fine. But they could do that out front, okay? The janitor needs that room mopped. That's the important thing. Now, you might be able to work with the janitor and say, look, what if we swept up? What if we had the scouts clean all this up and put the chairs away? Would that be helpful? These are things you can help. And the scouts get a lot from it because they love doing it. and they like putting things away, and they like setting them up, and so on. It's important that you work with the charter. If there's somebody there that does the cleaning, you want to help with that. Make sure that all their cleaning supplies and everything is back in the janitor's closet. That's important too. So there's a lot of this stuff, and I'm probably hitting on things that you might think of with your own organization. So definitely do that. Work with the people at the facility. Don't work against them. Don't stay past the time they need you out the door. That's very rude. And Scouts are courteous, okay? That's the Scout law. So that is a big thing. And we want to make sure that we do that kind of thing for the charter. We don't want to be discourteous to them. Helping the charter kind of get an idea of what Scouting is about. There's so many times that units act like they're separate from whatever charter they're with. They're not. They are together. And that charter needs to know what Scouting is about. They need to know the values. They need to know that the Scouts are succeeding because that charter is there. That's true. If the charter's not there, guess what? The unit isn't either. So it has a mutual thing. You want to work together. They need to see Scouting happen. This is a huge thing, and it's very important. I know of a unit that did flag retirement ceremonies as part of a church service. This was enormously popular with this unit. They loved doing that solemn flag retirement. It was done so well, and it was every single year. They just continue doing that. It's amazing that you can work with the charter, and then people see in in that particular case it was a church. So all of the parishioners of that church, guess what? They saw in action patriotic duty. They saw in action Scouting, and that's incredibly important. Now, addressing issues proactively is incredibly important. It's important to be known, it's important to communicate, it's important to do all of these things. But being proactive on issues is critical in preventing problems just getting worse and letting it snowball towards you. You got to make sure that you address these things as soon as possible. If you see that the doors are wobbly in the kitchen, make sure that your charter knows about it, that you were putting away the coffee pot and you noticed that the door was wobbly. Okay, you want to leave a note, you want to leave an email or a text or a phone call, something. Try to prevent that, because if the next time they come in they notice it's wobbly, that's your fault because you didn't communicate it. So now it's yours. So being preemptive on those problems. Charters get very upset if they're not aware of things that are going on. If you see a part where the carpet is torn and it's a trip hazard, put a cone out, okay? Prevent problems. Make sure that you write it down and the time and the date and all that stuff, and give those that information to the chartered organization. If they're at the event, they will be made aware of it. Say, excuse me, can we talk for a bit? We noticed the carpet is pulled up here. That kind of thing, and so that they're aware of it. It's important that relationship is there. Otherwise, if they weren't there and you didn't tell them, the next time they go to that church, guess what? And they see the carpet torn up. The Scouts did it. You need to be thinking about those things. If there's an issue, it needs to be addressed preemptively before there is real issues with the chartered organization. Now think about the chartered organization and all of the service projects that can be done. In fact, there's a video on service projects, and that's something you could do for your chartered organization. There's always a room that needs a little cleaning or straightening, or needs a new carpet, or needs new tiles or paint, you name it. Okay, work with your chartered organization. Don't get overboard. You're not the maintenance crew. Okay, but if it's something you use and it's mutually beneficial, that you give it a little TLC, that's important, that you work that with your charter. And we do so much work for our scouts. It's a natural that we do that for the chartered organization. They will not get demanding. Okay, believe me. They will look at it as, gee, thank you for helping, and they will be grateful. Okay, just like you are with your unit. They're going to be grateful. You're grateful that they're there to have a facility to let you store stuff in a closet of the building. That's a thing that we need to be always grateful. Grateful is just comes out of Scout values. Being grateful for them being there for you, and in so being, you need to be gracious and be nice to them and make sure that they're aware of issues. They know that you have each other's back, and you're going to work together. And if you get that relationship with your charter, your unit it'll be there for 50, 60 years. Okay. It's a very, very stable thing. If you could do that, it is incredibly important. And it can be challenging. I know that I'm going to get comments. I wish we knew our charter. I wish we had issues with the charter. We had to go to another one and we had the same issues. Then turn it around. Think about it. So these are things that I see in the comments. So definitely put them in there. I'll try to answer the ones I can. And you do so much work, and you got to keep up that good hard work. And I really appreciate all you do. In fact, if you're curious about the scouting history, I have a Scouting 101 right up here. So check it out. Until next time, I'll see you on the trail.